being here today. We got a lot of folks who given up their time to come down to hear this bill and to be involved in this process. So we certainly appreciate everybody on both sides being here. You know, every day we hear new rules and laws passed at the federal level that gradually erode our personal liberties.
Amen.
There has been legislation introduced in the House this session pushing back against overreach of our federal government. I've sat in committees and heard several different bills dealing with the strong arm of the federal government overriding state rights at times. When I first campaigned for this position in my district, I campaigned saying I would be a voice for the people. And I used that over and over, talking to different groups, that I would be the voice for the people. And that's what this is about, being a voice for not only people in my district, but people in other districts that are represented here. But this is not just a limited county issue, this is a state issue. This is for my constituents and other constituents that are in this room from the 8 counties involved, but this is about the citizens of Missouri, and I'd like for you to keep that in mind. So this is a multifaceted bill, so to speak. So the bill is Bill 1027, as the chairman said, and it has to do with eminent domain. It has to do with private companies using eminent domain. And you have a copy of it in front of it. It's not a long bill, it's a simple bill to understand. And it reads, notwithstanding any other provisions of the law to the contrary, the power of eminent domain shall not be exercised for any electric transmission line project if any of these issues apply. So such project is proposed and built outside of regulated regional transmission process. Now this is not, you know, there's one company involved, but I'm not concerned about spending all my time talking about company. I'm talking about the principle here of outside businesses, private companies outside of our state coming into our state and doing business and obtaining eminent domain when it doesn't benefit the citizens of Missouri. So it wouldn't be eligible if it fall under number 1, and it wouldn't be eligible under number 2. Such project is not eligible for regional cost allocation under a transmission tariff of a regional transmission operator or independent system operator. Number 3, such project is constructed entirely with private funds and uses the line paid for the transmission line. So there are some major differences that you'll probably hear talked about today between the private side and the public side when it comes to paying for the transmission line. And this subsection shall not apply to any rural electric cooperative or municipality-owned utility or an investor's owned. It doesn't say that. There will be an amendment on this. So, and there has been an amendment that was distributed, just so you have the change the wording in line in number 2 dealing with this bill, and we can deal with that later. Now, this summer there were 8 public hearings. 8 public hearings by the PSC with an attendance of over 2,200 people at these hearings around the state. I testified at 2 of these hearings in opposition to a project that's wanting eminent domain as a private company for utilities. Constituents in my district have been opposed since January when we got involved in this in 2014, along with county commissioners across the state. The PSC has received 7,100 comments opposing a private company using eminent domain. They've received 60 comments in favor. 7,100 comments against a private company having eminent domain, and 60 in favor, with 3,300 petition signatures sent to the governor's office in opposition to this approach. So we're here today to discuss this bill and hear input concerning whether or not this benefits the state of Missouri for private companies obtaining eminent domain. And with that, we'll start with questions.